to play!
We're here in New York City, outside of the CBS headquarters, where protesters are gathered, voicing their outrage over the CBS halftime Super Bowl show, where Fur was promoted. These protesters are outside of the corporate headquarters, taking their message to the CBS executives.
Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS!
We're here with Rachel, who is one of the organizers of this protest. And what is your goal here today, being in front of CBS with these protesters?
Well, we're joined today by other cities, coast to coast. Atlanta is going to be protesting today also, and as well as Los Angeles. We're here to, in all honesty, we're here to demand CBS to stop promoting animal cruelty and to take away all animal abuse from their show. There's no need for it in this day and age, especially with so many designers going fur free. They've dropped fur from their fashion houses. Top designers, Chanel, Gucci, Versace, it goes on and on, Michael Kors. There's no reason for us to turn on our game. 100 million people are watching the game, and we have to see this horrific sight of abuse.
So I'm told that you are planning to go talk to the representative from CBS who is outside in front of the door and give him some materials and ask him to let you speak to someone.
I would love that.
I will follow you to do that right now. Okay, so the protesters are going to stay here. I'm following Rachel, and she's going to gather some materials and speak to this representative of CBS who...
Hi, how are you? Can I speak with you for a minute? We won't go in.
Right. So you're a representative of CBS?
From the CBS security department.
Okay.
Yes.
So today I'd like to ask you a couple of questions and see if there's any way we can speak to somebody inside, or do we have to, can we not go inside and ask some questions at all today?
So he's not allowing anyone to enter the facility,
Take
but...
whatever paperwork you have and drop it off at the corporate communications department.
Well, I'd like to give you these papers. This is exactly what was going on Super Bowl Sunday halftime show, if you could call it a show. You know, over between 25 and 40 foxes were brutally killed for this coat, and I want to know, is CBS, what is CBS going to do about this? You know, and how do they feel, and how many animals do they think died for that coat?
Sir, we can confirm that you will pass these materials to the corporate communications department. Okay.
Right. You know, and this was a Super Bowl Fur Fiasco. Animal lovers worldwide were horrified and disgusted. And we want to know why this rapper, Big Boi, appeared in a massive fur coat during the Super Bowl halftime. You know, in this day and age, again, like I said before, there's no need to wear fur. Top designers have dropped fur and animal cruelty from their lines. And we want to know why CBS promoting animal cruelty.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So you will pass this message along to the corporate communications office today?
Today, as soon as we're done here.
As soon as we're done here. Okay, Rachel.
Please, thank you
we have
so much.
confirmation that this gentleman is going to pass the message along and give the materials. How do you feel about that?
I hope so, because like I said, you know, this was viewed over with 100 million people watching this game, and out comes this obscene fur coat from this so-called entertainer. Just horrific. We had to turn off the TV. I mean, the fur itself was obscene. And as animal rights activists, we know exactly what happens to these foxes, the foxes that were murdered for this coat. So we're gonna stay here and demand that they listen to us and do something about it. We want them to drop the animal cruelty from all of their shows.
Thank you, Rachel. You can hear that this is a loud protest. There are visuals of the performer who wore the fur coat next to actual foxes that are killed on fur farms. The activists have a representation of a skinned animal.
CBS is to blame! Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is to blame! Fur trade!
see you're leading the chants. Would you like to give your name and talk about why you're here today?
Absolutely. This is such an important cause. My name is Jamie Kurtzer, and I'm here protesting that CBS was promoting fur during the Super Bowl halftime show. For such a, millions of followers are watching the Super Bowl, and for somebody to step on stage and wear furs, if it's nothing, 50 or more animals suffered for that fur coat, and people need to know that.
What would you like CBS to do in response to these protests? There's one happening here today in New York. There's a protest in Atlanta in front of CBS and in Los Angeles. How would you like CBS to respond to these protests that are happening coast to coast?
I would like an apology. I would really like an apology. I would like this to go viral so that people can become more aware that nothing about fur is okay. The exploitation of animals needs to end. We are in 2019. There are so many other options out there. Whether it's fur, whether it's down. I'm actually wearing a Save the Duck coat, which is synthetic fur.
Let's see that. Save the Duck is one of the brands that have been discussed on Jane Unchained and other places as being a cruelty-free, and this is a warm coat.
The warmest coat I've ever had. I mean, I'm out here protesting for the animals all the time in the freezing cold temperatures, and I've never been cold in this coat. It's amazing.
Thank you.
There's no excuses for animal abuse.
Thank you for coming here and speaking to Jane Unchained. We're bringing this live protest to everyone watching. This is one of 3 protests happening today in front of CBS studios and headquarters. This protest is getting a lot of attention, and we are in busy Midtown Manhattan. CBS owns the building here. This is their corporate headquarters in New York City, and this is where these protesters are lining up protesting. Hi there. I see you have a skinned fox replica. Would you like to talk to Jane Unchained about why you're here?
I'm here because of the abuse to the animals. There's no reason why we need to wear fur coats. Absolutely no reason why. That's why I'm here.
How did you feel knowing that CBS had promoted fur on its halftime show where millions and millions of people watched?
Absolutely disgusted. I'm disgusted at them. I'm disgusted at the NFL for allowing this performance. It's just
What's your
disgusting.
message to CBS today?
Don't allow this.
Don't allow this.
Don't allow to have animals being abused, killed, tortured for fur.
Oh boy, we've got FDNY coming by, not for the protest, they're here for something else. But Midtown Manhattan is a busy, noisy place, but these protesters are making a lot of noise in front of CBS.
Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is to blame! Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is to blame!
Hi there. Would you like to talk to Jane Unchained for how you feel being here today? Okay, what's your name?
Christina.
Christina. Get a little quiet over here.
Yeah.
I see you're holding a poster that shows the performer who was wearing that fur coat, which we are told is fox fur, and a picture of an actual fox.
Yeah.
How do you feel knowing that CBS promoted fur to so many millions of viewers during the Super Bowl halftime show?
When I first saw it, it was very disturbing to see someone so famous and in a performance that is viewed by so many people wear actual fur, which is just promoting the cruelty and promoting the abuse of animals, when we know that there are so many other alternatives to wearing fur, and there are so many other things that you can do and not wear real animal skin.
What's your message to CBS, if you could speak directly to them, which is the point of this protest?
Yeah, I don't know if apologizing would kind of like reverse the effect of this, but an apology can kind of like help us and kind of spread the message that, hey, we don't promote cruelty, we don't promote wearing fur, it's not okay for us to abuse animals, and we're in 2019 and we have to do something about this. We need to stop abusing animals like this.
Thank you. So that is, many of the protesters are pleading with CBS to apologize for promoting fur, the violence that they say fur is, and that hopes that CBS will no longer do that in the future. Yes. And of course, as always on Jane Unchained, we welcome on CBS to give their side of the story. Today we're here covering the protesters who are speaking out and trying to give the message to CBS that they want them to be more compassionate, because ultimately everything that is aired on CBS, they are responsible for it. Yes. Okay, I'm just going to show again the close-up of this, and you can see how similar, obviously, this is a red fox, and that's most likely what that coat was made of, and the protesters here are making the connection that these are...
We're trying to spread the awareness and spread like the message that, you know, it's not okay for this. It's not. It wasn't just one fox that was used for this like coat. It was many of them, and like it's just, it's not okay. It's not fair for the animal. The animal doesn't have a voice, and they can't tell us, hey, don't do this to us. It's up to us to kind of spread the message for them.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to Jane Unchained. We're gonna talk to more.
CBS has blood on their hands! Stop the torture! Stop the pain! CBS is to blame! Stop the torture! Stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
Stop the torture! Stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
Stop the torture! Stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
CBS has blood on their hands!
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 So today we're here outside CBS demanding
Chanting.
that they stop protesting.
So I can see that, you know, there's security outside. People inside the CBS office are looking in, I think, aware of what's going on here. I think that the protesters are getting attention from the employees inside. Many employees have walked by and seen the protesters and asked why they're out here. They also have flyers that they're giving out.
That's what we demand to know.
How many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know!
How many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know!
How many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know!
How many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know!
How many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know!
How many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know!
Fur trade, death trade!
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 Stop the torture, stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
Stop the torture, stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
Stop the torture, stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
Stop the torture, stop the pain!
blame!
Fur trade death trade!
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 How many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to
How
know!
many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to
How
know!
many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to
How
know!
many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know!
Fur trade death trade!
Fur trade death trade!
Fur trade death trade!
Fur trade death trade!
Fur trade
So for
death
any viewers just watching, we are here in New York City in front of the CBS headquarters. Protesters are gathered in opposition to the Super Bowl halftime show that promoted fur. As you can see, the protesters have some images of the performer who wore a fox fur coat, and protesters are here demanding that CBS have accountability for promoting fur to millions and millions of viewers.
Blood on your hands!
Blood on your hands!
Blood on your hands!
Blood on your hands!
This is the CBS headquarters in New York City, and that is why the protesters are outside here.
I also wanted to mention also that, you know, this was the worst wardrobe malfunction ever in Super Bowl halftime history. I mean, they took the cake. This one really took the cake. There was nothing worse that I've ever seen than this.
Yep, this is an image of the performer who wore the fox fur. We believe it is fox fur.
Pretty sure.
And as others have pointed out, Rachel, so many other designers are dropping fur and going cruelty-free. So how do you feel that CBS is choosing to promote real fur?
Right, no, absolutely. You know, there's no need in this day and age, again, to be wearing animal cruelty. Those animals suffered in agony. Whichever way they were killed, they suffered. For what? So somebody else could wear their skin? So somebody else could wear their fur?
Yeah, so this says worst wardrobe malfunction ever. Of course, referring to the promotion of fur. You spoke to a representative of CBS Security who said that he will pass your message along to the corporate communications. How do you feel about
I hope so. I mean, you know, we're asking politely here. We're peacefully demonstrating. And, you know, there's nothing illegal about what we're doing. We're just asking for them to stop promoting entertainers that abuse animals, and for them to just drop animal cruelty from all of their shows.
Yeah, and I think
we also had the bull riding at one point. Also, bull riding. They were promoting that also.
yes, there is professional bull riders that at Madison Square Garden every year they perform, and it is aired on CBS also. So that's another point that can be made, that there are other problems with things that CBS are airing today. The protesters are here specifically talking about CBS promoting fur, and part of your message, it seems, is the hopes that CBS would change their policy.
Absolutely.
And I know other cities are going to be out today. We have the West Coast in Los Angeles doing a protest. Atlanta's doing a protest.
Big Boi's hometown.
Yes,
So,
that's
that should be interesting.
yes. And I think there was a backlash on social media
Plenty.
about this.
PETA did an expose on it. I mean, people are outraged. It was just so.
I think that there is some media here. It might be. I'm gonna see who this is. Hi, is this TMZ? TMZ. Okay, we have TMZ here, who often covers issues related to fur. So that's nice to see some other media here.
Stop the torture! Stop
Besides
the
Jane
pain!
Unchained.
CBS is to blame! CBS is to blame!
Stop the torture! Stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
Torture! Stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
Stop the torture! Stop the pain!
CBS is to blame!
Stop the torture! Stop the pain!
CBS is to
How
blame!
many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know!
How many animals died for that show?
That's what we
we demand to know.
How many animals died for that show?
That's what we demand to know.
So I see TMZ is filming the protesters as well. I assume that means that they might air this protest.
Animal abuse.
There's no excuse.
For animal abuse. Shame on you.
No rest.
Animal abuse.
There'll be no rest.
For animal abusers.
There's no excuse.
For animal abuse.
There's no excuse.
For animal abuse.
There'll be no rest.
For animal abusers.
There'll be no rest.
For animal abusers.
Shame, shame, shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame, shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame, shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame, shame, shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do. Death train. Fur train. Fur train. Fur train. Death train. Death train. Death train.
Death train. Death train. Death train.
Death train. Death train. Death train. Death train. Death train. Death train. Death train. Death train. Death train. Death train.
Huh? Stop the torture zone.
Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. The torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. The torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. The torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Rat train. Death train. Rat train. Death train. Rat train. Death train.
So we just wanted to get some more thoughts. We see that TMZ is here.
Yes,
Maybe there will
I
be some
think-
more mainstream coverage.
It's amazing. This is what we need. We need people to see this and bring awareness to the issue. People walk around the streets of New York in their Canada Goose coats. People are wearing fur all the time, and compassion is the fashion. That's what we're trying really to promote here. There's no need to exploit animals like that in 2019. I really thank you, TMZ, for being here and sharing us this message with us.
Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you for what you do. Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you for what you do.
Hi there, I'm live for Jane Unchained News Channel. Will TMZ be covering this protest? You believe they will? How did you hear about this? Right, so do you think that people will care that people are protesting CBS for the fur?
You're actually asking me a question right now? Okay. Are you live?
Yes, we're live for Jane Unchained.
Okay. I'm sorry, repeat your question again?
I'm asking, how do you think that your viewers at TMZ will care about this issue of CBS being protested for fur?
Of course.
You do?
Yeah. I mean, they sent me out here to capture because they care.
Right.
So
So
here I am.
TMZ cares about this issue.
course, yeah, of course.
And you're aware that there's two other protests happening. There's a protest in Los Angeles and in one in Atlanta.
I'm sure their guys are covering it right now.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of outrage about this that CBS chose to promote fur, and that's what all the protesters here are telling me. So we're glad to see that TMZ is out here covering this.
For sure. 100%.
And so people can watch online when
Yeah, I'm gonna.
TMZ
We're
airs?
sending it in right now, and
sending it in now.
yeah, we'll see what happens. They're probably gonna put it on their website and air it today. So make sure you watch the show too.
Great, thank you. To all the viewers on Jane Unchained, we thank TMZ.
DJ
for-
Mark Anthony.
Yes, for covering this issue. It's not always easy to get coverage for animal rights issues. So we're thankful that TMZ thinks this is important because it is. It's important.
Huge issue.
It's a huge issue.
100%.
You heard it from TMZ. Animal rights is a huge issue. Thank you, TMZ.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. So the protesters have some whistles and are making a lot of noise in front of CBS.
CBS has blood on their hands. CBS has blood on their hands. CBS has blood on their hands. CBS has blood on their hands.
feel about this protest? Didn't want to talk. I'm trying to get some reactions from people coming out of the CBS building who may be employees there about how they feel about the protest. Maybe I'll find someone who's willing to talk.
Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is the way! Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is the way! Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is the way!
Hi there, we're live for Jane Unchained. I see you just joined the protesters. Why are you here today?
I'm a fellow activist. I had class before and I couldn't make it earlier, but I think it's very important to be out here to show people that we're not going to stand cross-legged while animals are being tortured and skinned alive. Most of the fur that we see today and that is exported worldwide comes from China, where there's barely too many regulations that protect the animals. A lot of the time the animals are skinned alive. There's no protection for them. It's just more profitable. So it's important that a chain like CBS shows compassion and doesn't promote things like the things that Big Boi did, wearing a fur coat where so many animals have died for it. It's just not necessary.
And there is a CBS security team out here that's been here the whole time. So it shows that CBS is well aware of what's going on. They're sending people out. One of the organizers spoke to one of the gentlemen over there and passed along information that he said he will give directly to corporate communications. So there is no doubt that CBS is well aware of what's going on here today and probably will be well aware that there are other protests happening across the country, not just in New York City. So this is, I think, going to get a lot of attention at CBS, that people were outraged enough to show up in front of their buildings at the last minute and speak out. We have people who took off from work, who took off from school to be here. At 9 in the morning, this protest started, and they're out here to send a message to CBS. We have TMZ talking to the protesters now. TMZ said they will be airing this on their website and on their show today. This is the corporate headquarters for CBS. So that is why the protesters chose to be here. New York City corporate headquarters for CBS. You can see the CBS on their door front, and that is a security team that's out here. Sir, are you going into CBS? Sir? No, doesn't want to talk. Someone who looks like they're enjoying the protest. Sir, how do you feel about the protest? You're live for Jane Unchained.
I despise it. Anything that hurts humanity, I'm completely against. If it's positive, I'm all for it.
Yes.
My name is Recognized, but you can call me Recognized.
Thank you. This gentleman says he is against anything that hurts others.
That's right. Anything that hurts humanity,
Okay.
I'm 150% against. If it's going to help our society, I'm for it infinity%.
Thank you.
It's all about life.
Sir, how do you feel about people protesting CBS? This no comment. Tight-lipped CBS people. This is the...
Do the right thing.
He wasn't doing it for
How do you feel about people protesting the CBS wardrobe malfunction of fur?
No views.
What? What did you say? I'm sorry.
I have no views.
No views, okay. We see some other people leaving the CBS building. I'll see if maybe they want to talk. Would anyone like to talk about this protest of CBS that's happening? No. I think a lot of employees obviously don't want to be seen speaking out against the company they work for. So that's probably what's happening.
Regardless if they're wild animals or not.
But they're allowed to be wild also. They should be able to live their lives. I mean, already they're encroaching on their own habitat.
This is the reporter for TMZ who said this story will air. And CBS, of course, is a major news network. and they are used to reporting the news and covering the news, but today they are the source of the news in the form of a protest. So it's something that they're not used to, CBS being held to the hot seat, and that is what is happening today across the country with protests in front of CBS studios and headquarters. And the message here is very clear that CBS is to blame. As we can see, this sign clearly telling CBS to stop promoting fur violence. That's the message of the protesters here today. And even though no one coming out of the CBS building was willing to speak to me because they are likely employees, they all will go back to their offices and departments and talk about it. So I think it's going to be very widespread knowledge at CBS in New York City and all of their offices that they are being protested today across the country for promoting fur on their station.
How many animals died for that code? That's what we demand to know. How many animals died for that code? That's what we demand to know. How many animals died for that code? That's what we demand to know. CBS has blood on their hands.
CBS has blood on their hands. CBS has blood on their hands. CBS has blood on their hands.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Protesters are chanting shame to CBS.
Shame on you for what you do. Shame on you for what you do. Shame on you. Shame on you for what you do. Shame on you. Shame on you for what you do. Fur trade. Fur trade. Fur trade. Fur trade. Fur trade.
For all the viewers who just are tuning in, we are in New York City at the CBS headquarters. You can see people walking in the building. Security is outside. Protesters are here demanding accountability from CBS for promoting fur during their Super Bowl halftime show. And there are protests across the country that will happen today. One in Los Angeles, one in Atlanta, this one in New York City. All with the message that people are outraged that they promoted fur on their station during the Super Bowl, where millions and millions of people watch. Would you like to give some thoughts on the protests happening of CBS's use of fur? The employees or people walking in don't want to speak on camera. So viewers of Jane Unchained, you can watch. There will be other activists will be going live in Atlanta and Los Angeles for the protests at CBS in those cities. This is the New York City protest. We are in front of CBS headquarters in Midtown Manhattan. This appears to be a fox caught in a leg hold trap.
What you do? Shame on you for what you do.
Shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Fair trade.
That's right.
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 So the security team is still outside making sure that no protesters enter CBS's lobby, which they are not trying to do. This is a lawful protest. They are standing before the steps leading into the lobby of the CBS headquarters.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Fair trade. Fair trade. Fair
Will you explain what you're holding here?
I'm sorry?
Will you explain what this is that you're holding?
This is a fox, an animal, a raccoon actually, that's been skinned for its fur.
So this is a replica of an animal that was skinned to show the reality of
what goes on.
Yes.
And they're skinned alive. In some countries they actually take them and skin them alive, which is so cool.
So there are some visuals here.
That's what we demand to know. How many animals died for that show? That's what we demand to know. How many animals died for that show? That's what we demand
I think many of the activists are expressing that they are shocked and very disappointed that CBS chose to promote fur because they are known as such a respectable, classy news organization, and that this was a very low point for them to have such a glorification of fur, especially at a time in society where fur is becoming more and more ostracized. More designers are shunning fur and going cruelty-free, so it was a big shock, they tell me, that CBS chose to do this in the year 2019 when the tide is turning in such a big way against fur. One of the organizer is laying down
CBS has blood on their hands.
more
CBS has blood on their hands. CBS has blood on their hands.
some more visuals and
CBS has blood on their hands. 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 CBS has blood on his hands. CBS has blood on their 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 hands. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame. Stop the torture, stop the pain. CBS is to blame.
these were placed on the ground near the activists' feet, so people walking by will have even more visuals. Many of them are showcasing foxes because that is what is believed to be the animals that were killed for the coat that was worn during the performance.
Bird trade! That's trade! Bird trade! That's trade! Bird trade! That's trade! Bird trade! That's trade! Bird trade! That's trade!
Sir, how do you feel about this protest of CBS's use of fur?
I would prefer the not.
Okay.
That's trade!
Didn't want to be
That's trade!
filmed.
That's trade!
Yes, but he is taking this all in.
That's what we demand to know!
I think he might also be a CBS employee who does not want to be filmed or comment on this. But a lot of people have been going in and out of the CBS building, and I think they all are very interested as to why CBS is being protested.
That's what we demand to know! How many animals died for that cold? That's what we demand to know! How many animals died for that cold? That's what we demand to know! How many animals died for that cold? That's what we demand to know! Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is to blame! Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is to blame! Stop the torture, stop the pain! CBS is to blame! Stop the torture, stop the pain!
CBS is to blame.
Stop the do. Shame, shame, shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame, shame, shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you for what you do. Shame, shame, shame on you.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you for what you do. Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you for what you do. Fair trade. 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 Fair trade.
The chant is demanding to know how many animals died for that fur coat that was worn at the Super Bowl halftime show.
That's what we demand to know. How many animals died for that show? That's what we demand to know. That's what we demand to know. How many animals died for that show? That's what we demand to know. How many animals died for that show? That's what we demand to know. Fur trade, death trade.
Fur trade, death trade.
Fur trade, death trade.
Fur trade, death
trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Fur trade, death trade. Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you for what you do. Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you for what you do.
Shame on you for what you do.
Shame, shame on you.
So the protesters are going to be gathered outside of the CBS headquarters for a while longer, sending their message, and we're bringing it here to you live in New York City, outside of the CBS headquarters. There are other protests planned in other cities, Los Angeles and Atlanta, protesting CBS's promotion of fur, and we are here live covering New York City. Signing off, this is Edita Birnkrant for Jane Unchained.